What's up, everybody? Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless with another episode on Medieval Engineers. In the last episode, we finished up the small castle build, and also kind of came to the conclusion that that was kind of about the limit that we wanted to go in terms of what my computer can actually handle doing right now. Because I'm one of those that, yes, I know you can turn the view distance lower and you could make the graphics look worse and blah 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 blah, but then, well, you know, the view distance lower and the graphics look worse, so... I know we could do more, it's just one of those things that I just don't really want to. Now, I've got a bit of an interesting idea for this one. I'm gonna try. I don't know how well this is gonna work. But everybody keeps saying, you know, push it and see if we can come up with some interesting ideas. So I'm going to try and do an underground small castle-ish thing. What I mean by that is it probably won't be the size of an actual castle under the ground, because that would just be kind of odd. So it will probably be around a small estate type size, like it's like a place, kind of like if you were playing survival, and you just kind of like jump in and try and make a safe world type of thing, or a safe location. Now, the other thing is I have an idea for how I want to do this, and what I want to do is actually start it... I don't know where I want to start it yet, but my theory is I'm actually going to start it above ground and then use the voxel hands and stuff to place terrain over top of it. That's my hope, because otherwise... I don't know, it would just be kind of hard to dig through all of this, and it would probably end up making the decor look even worse, because I'm not that good at terrain, like destruction. It just always looks weird. Adding isn't too bad, but when you're like digging out an area, it just never ends up looking that good. So I'm thinking right about here. Let's get a block going. Somewhere right about here. And my reasoning for that, maybe a little bit further out, my reasoning for that is then we can have 1 to 2 floors, but instead of the ground curving the way that it does, it'll almost just look like it's flat-ish, like the hill's gonna come out. So this shape will be out here, is my hope. I don't know how this is gonna work. I've never done anything like this before. Let's put it right here, actually. I've never really done anything like this before. Oh, and one other thing is, because everyone kept saying that it would make things more interesting, contrary to my comfortability, structural integrity is on. Yeah, so things are probably going to come tumbling down on us halfway through. However, I did forget about this menu in the last episode. When I was talking about night mode. Wow. Okay, hold on a minute. Bad example. Let's put a fire bucket down. Night mode. Better example, it's still pitch black. Oh, there is a moon. Wow, is it dark? Darkness. Okay. Obviously, you have the structural integrity mode, and then there's remove all fractures. So that's if we break something. See, this is why I didn't really want structural integrity mode on. Let's see if I can give you an example. So, like this, the structural integrity isn't too bad, right? And then if we were to put something like this, it's starting to get a little weak. That's not the problem. And I could be wrong about this, but my... Yep, there it goes. That's the problem. With structural integrity on, if you take out the bottom block, the top falls down because it's affected by gravity. It won't just float there. So it makes it a little difficult to do. Remove all... Yeah, there we go. And then you're back to square one. So what I might do is, after this episode, I don't want to... Well, maybe I will. Okay, so I did turn that off for now. I kind of forgot about that, to be honest. Yeah, see, that's the difference. So we will definitely build with integrity in mind. Like, I don't want to go above yellow, so that when we turn it on, everything still works. However, I don't think I'm going to build with it on for that one reason. It's just really tough to build with it on. Because it just, things break and fall and stuff, and then you gotta redo a bunch of stuff. It's just kind of a hassle. Okay. So, assuming... Actually, I wasn't thinking of the angle. The angle's a little different. So let's put the starting block here. Maybe. Maybe a little further back. Like here. Maybe. So that'll be our... That's a little better. So that'll be our door. Right? When we're done with this, that'll be like the door. And I'm kind of thinking a castle hobbit hole. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Castle, structure, and materials. Kind of like a hobbit hole, though. Maybe a little bit bigger than a typical hobbit house. That might be a important thing, too. So, how I have this set up is I've got a bunch of wall blocks and stairs. Then on my second bar, I've got doors, wood paneling, and timber. Third is interior stuff, and fourth is a few extras and the rope and contraption type stuff. So, I'm thinking we'll put... Do we want this door or this door? Let's do this door. This looks a bit less inviting, I know, but that's the point. Okay, so... Oh, and there is one other thing I probably should do. Let's get rid of the... no. Let's get rid of these. We'll probably not use spiral stairs, and let's do one voxel hand. Let's do... Yeah, let's do that one. And I might keep it a bit smaller, so that we have a bit more control over just how much terrain we're taking out. Because, for example, this is going to need to be flat-ish. What is this? Snap to grid, maybe? We can turn that off, see if that helps. So this needs to be a little flatter kind of thing so that we can come back. So what we're kind of doing is hollowing out this section, right? All this in here needs to get a little flatter. And the reason for that is then we're going to build in here. I can't see where the voxel hand is. We're going to build in this section, and then we're kind of going to use the voxel terrain and go over what we build, if that makes sense. And like I said, this might be kind of derpy. This may not come out good at all. I'm looking very much for you guys' suggestions in all this, so that it doesn't come out completely uber derpy. That should be good enough for a starting area. Now, the other thing is I'm going to be using a lot more walls than straight blocks. So that we can capitalize on the room instead of having to put like this. Instead of having to put a whole nother block here, we'll probably just put a wall type of thing in order to take advantage of the tight spaces and kind of give it that, I want to give it that like tunnel type feel, right? Now, one other issue that we're going to have that I had not thought of before doing this build, to be honest, is we're going to have a bit of an issue with the ceiling. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Unless we just make it dirt. I mean, I wonder if that would work. Let's try it real quick. Could you put... I don't know if that would, like, take it away or not, kind of thing. I mean, weigh it down is what I was actually meaning there. So, okay, this is actually going to be a bit of a tough build for me. I'm not used to this building style at all. Okay. So, assume... Let's see if we can place some grass and stuff around here real quick. I do recommend, from just what I'm seeing here personally, is using the small block for this kind of stuff. It seems to be much more fluid, if that's kind of where I'm going with this. Like, it just doesn't seem to end up with nearly as weird of a shape. You can kind of blend everything in a bit more. Yeah. Much bigger, much more of a fan of unlocking it from the grid and using a smaller brush type of thing. I feel like that gives us a much more organic result. Kind of wish I had known about that beforehand. Okay, so now let's just work on the entryway, right? So let's say this is the entrance. And then... So you're going to come in from here and go down a hallway, and then it's going to split like right and left type of thing and go straight. So for this episode, just to make sure that this works and isn't going to be super derpy, which that jury is still out on that. Actually, you know what? We're going to get rid of these two and put the voxel hands here, I think, instead. Oh, wait a minute. That's a much bigger area. That's the smallest area you can do, sphere? Holy crap. Okay, so that one's not gonna work. Man, all these are like massive by comparison to the square. Auto level? What does that do? If it just levels, I'm gonna be a... Oh, wow. Yeah, no. Can I not delete you? Aw, come on. Great. So apparently, the square, although it's a square and not rounded, is probably our best friend. Because those other shapes are, A, just huge. The smallest brush size is terrible. Not in a... I'm not, like, critiquing how they're designing. I just mean for actual terrain editing. It's, not really that wonderful. Let's see. I'm trying to get rid of this mess that one thing made, and it's not working very well. There. I think that's getting there. Okay, that'll do for now. Anyways, the other one is... Nope. Once again, smallest one they have is just huge. So I guess we're going to stick with a square. And in that case, we don't need to switch. We can just leave it on this bar. No, what are you doing? Game? What are you doing? Okay, so what I want to do here is actually try and make a hill type thing. I don't know if this is gonna work at all. I'm kind of nervous about this. Okay, blend that in a little bit. Tell you what, let's also turn our crosshair on. That'll make things a little easier to see where we're pointing. We're gonna run this along here. How's that do for integrity? Nothing. Okay. I was wondering if once you put it like under the ground, if it turns into the ground and stuff, and so then it doesn't see it as structural integrity anymore because it's like placed into the ground, if that makes sense. Kind of like how it's white in certain areas. There's a lot of foliage up here. Whoops. That's not what I meant to do. That's actually not what I meant to do either. Okay. So, this is kind of what I'm thinking. Is giving it this, like I said, I'm kind of thinking of a hobbit hole. Like, it's kind of not submerged. Well, yeah, kind of submerged. If this were water. Is, concealed, I guess, is a better way to explain that. It's not connecting very well down here, though. It's kind of one of those I keep adding more to fill in the hill, but it's not exactly doing what I wanted it to do. Like that, it just keeps getting deformed instead of connecting up. Okay, that's not horrible. I don't think. And we can use all this room as well. We don't have to fill all of this in with dirt. There, that's a little better. There we go. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. So something like that is kind of what I'm thinking. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. And then you can come in here, sort of, if it will let me go through the door. So we might need a little bit more of a ramp here. Maybe. Make this a bit more level here. Something like that. There we go. Perfect. There we go. So something like this is kind of the overall design that I'm going for. Actually, this gives me an idea now that I kind of might want to explore that option of bringing this up more, I guess. See, this is why I wanted to build the structure first and then work on the terrain, is because we can use the terrain to cover up whatever we end up doing. So, for example, let's... actually, you know what? I am going to make a second brush. I'm going to have one here, but have this one be snap to grid, and have this one, oops, be a 2. Let's see how that works. Will I be able to do... No. Okay, it's one brush. Dang. I was kind of hoping I could do multiples. That doesn't work for me. Well, actually this part might. Having it snap to grid to get rid of what you need to place more blocks kind of makes sense. So we'll leave it at this for now, and then when we go back to actual editing, we'll do the single block, but for now. And I'm probably only going to do the solid blocks out of for the floor. The rest of it is probably going to be walls. Like I said, partially to take advantage of the space so that we're not filling it all in with solid block. Let's put a corner there. Alright, I like that. So, oh, and one thing I wanted to see before we get too out of this. Can I not reset it? Oh, whatever. There we go. Is can I bridge this with dirt? Because if we can... Ooh, that's... I wish there was an undo button. That would be kind of nice. Because if we can... And I don't see as I think because it's attached to the ground, it's seeing it as part of the ground. So it's not having an issue with structural integrity, which is kind of a interesting accidental byproduct of this. I might do some single clicks through here just to make sure everything's kind of shaping up to be not. Wait a minute. The voxel editing is intriguing to me because it's like 1 minute you can add one way and it does one thing, but then you can add or remove something else and it changes to something else that it wasn't even that before you did anything kind of deal. And it's like, that's weird. It's almost like you're just cycling through what it could or couldn't do. There we go. That's not too terrible. We'll have to fix this because something happened here. Something broke on that. But that actually ends up... kind of seems like the more we work with this, the better it ends up looking at the end result. Like I said, I'm not that great of a terrain editor, so I'm not really sure how this is going to end up with... it's not too bad. We got too much of an overhang here, though. I don't like that. There we go. That's not bad. Pretty good. Yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe fill in just a bit here. Oh, I like that. I like that. It really does kind of look like a hobbit hole. So how does this look up here? So you could do a ceiling of dirt. I don't know if we'll end up doing that or not. We might do just wood paneling or something and then cover the wood with grass or something of that nature. I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. In the meantime, I'm going to end this episode here, so let me know what you guys think, if this is something that you think would be a good idea, because I got to admit, I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. I'm not really sure if this will work or not, but let me know if you guys like it. If so, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace!